Good evening, Knoxville College family, community, and friends. My name is Dr. Keith Lindsey, interim president of Knoxville College, and I am proud to be the host for this week's pandemic seminar. Tonight, our guest presenter is one who is a dynamic woman by the name of Dr. Cheryl Lee. She has her doctorate in business administration, and she is on faculty at Knoxville College. She is a woman of diverse talents and traits. Her philanthropic activities are just phenomenal. And so tonight we're going to gather to talk a little bit more about, COVID and about what we can do to keep us safe and to keep us informed and educated, and how to really just take a sigh of relief and take a breath of fresh air and try to not be too overwhelmed, even though this pandemic is still roaring and it's still showing excessive rates, and that it is still rising. But we want to make sure that we are prepared people, and to make sure that whatever that we do, we have a plan in place so that we can do what is best for ourselves as an individual, for our families, for our businesses, and most importantly, for our communities. And so Dr. Lee is going to give a great presentation tonight, and my ears are tuned up because I'm ready to hear this. And so without further ado, it is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to introduce Dr. Cheryl Lee.
Thank you, Dr. Lindsey. Good evening, everyone. As Dr. Lindsey said, my name is Cheryl Lee, and I will be presenting tonight on managing personal finance during the COVID-19 pandemic. And going forward with introduction, during these uncertain times, it can be very overwhelming, especially when it comes to our finances. As a result of having added stress, sometimes we lean towards spending, which is a stress reliever for some of us, most of us. And it's also a coping mechanism. And when your emotions tend to run high, then you may go into overdrive and end up overspending. And then that makes things even more difficult for you. So I'm here tonight to speak to you about managing your finances, personal finances, as I said, what to look for, giving you some resources on how to go about helping you to manage your finances, and so that we can all get through this time period and not come out on the ugly side of things, being more stressed and more overwhelmed once COVID-19 has been contained. So tonight, as I said, I'll be presenting and giving you advice and tips for your finances, programs that you can access, and just a healthier way to go forward during this pandemic. As such, your priorities right now, when it comes to finances, should be food, medication, shelter, and your safety. Those are the four things that should be first and foremost when it comes to spending your money. Ensure that you have food for yourself and your family. You have medications if you have existing health conditions, also shelter, and that you guys are safe, meaning you are practicing your social distancing, wearing your mask whenever you go outside, washing your hands, and just being safe, being aware, following CDC's guidelines, and being safe. That is what we want to do. We want to be proactive and not reactive to COVID-19. And if we all do our part, I believe that we can actually help to contain COVID and move forward with it. So the first thing that we need to do is examine where I am spending my money. With doing that, you want to assess your needs versus your wants. Now, your needs are something that is necessary for you to go about each day, for you to exist and keep just breathing, living. That is what is a need is. A want, it is something that you can do without. A want, such as I see they have the PlayStation 5 that just came out. That is a want. That's not a need. And it goes for like $500, $600. You don't need to buy PlayStation 5 this Christmas season. So that would be a want. Your need, as I said, it would be food, shelter, medications, clothing to some extent, because if you have enough, most people, they are working from home right now. You don't need to buy excess clothing because you're not going in the office. If you are in school, you may be distance learning, so you don't need to buy excess clothing. So then you don't have to be spending excess money on clothing. Shelter, such as your mortgage, rent, those are your needs. Medication, as I said before. So you want to assess where you're spending. You could make an Excel sheet if Excel is something that you like to work on. If not, you could do it in a Word document, and you want to list what your needs are. You could do it on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever works for you. Just do a sheet, a Word document or Excel spreadsheet. You want to list what your needs are, and then you list what your wants are. And once you do that list, come up with that list, then you would want to see where on the want side you can cut spending. And I'm pretty sure that I know for myself, I have subscriptions, a lot of subscriptions like Netflix. I have BJ's, Amazon, Costco, Sam's, all those. And we really don't need the monthly subscriptions that's going on right now during the pandemic. So look to see where you can cut costs, as well as your cable subscription. I know I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm not watching TV every night. My TV was off for the past 6 months. Last week during the election was the first time I turned it on to watch the election coverage. So you may have a cable bill that's $230 per month that you're paying, and you're not watching TV, because with the advent of social media and so many different platforms, you have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those. It's just so much sensory overload. There are just so many avenues to get the news, to connect with other people, that the cable bill, it's looking like it's not a want for me. So that's something that I will, because as I'm giving you the advice, I'm also taking it myself. That's on my want section of my list that I made. I did make a list for myself, and I will be cutting that expense because it is a want and I'm not using it. So that's an example of how you would go about that. And so once, as I said, once you've identified where you can cut your spending, go ahead and do that. Cut your spending right away. So some of your tips to manage your finances during this pandemic. You want to stay focused. So when I say stay focused, I mean stay focused and vigilant, in that we are in crisis mode right now. This is not like normal times. This is going to be a holiday season that it's very much different from every other times that we've had. You want to stay focused and mindful that right now you have to think of yourself, your family, and others. During Thanksgiving and Christmas, when we would have large family gatherings, that may not be an option this year. And think of it as it's this year while we are trying to come up with a vaccine, find measures to contain COVID, and you try not to get overwhelmed with that, and think to yourself, if I do my part and I stay focused, then, I won't get sidetracked. The sooner that we can all come together, get on one page and each do our part, then we can help to contain COVID. So you want to stay focused. With staying focused, you do not want to go out there and spend extra money this year. Think of it as I said, we are in crisis mode right now. So with that comes crisis intervention. And so you want to spend as little as possible on the wants or not at all, and just spend on your needs. When you do that, you'll find that you will have excess funds in your bank account. Now, there have been a lot of job losses or hours that have been cut for some people since March, since we went on lockdown, and it seems as if we are actually heading back to a lockdown. Some states, I know my state that I reside in, Maryland, yesterday the governor rolled us back to phase 1. And if the numbers keep going up, then we'll be rolled back to where we're on lockdown. Texas, they went on a 10-day lockdown. So as the numbers keep going up with over 100,000 infections per day, then we want to be very, very mindful of we may end up going back on lockdown as a nation again. And with that comes people losing jobs, losing their hours for work. And then there we are again with the added financial stress. And so we want to be more proactive with our finances as opposed to being reactive. We want to be more proactive more than reactive with our finances. You want to ensure that you have an emergency fund in your account. That's something that you are not touching. Whenever you get any income source, practice putting away, if it's even $5, $10, it adds up. And then you will see, or I like to call it your rainy day funds, that if you have an emergency where you have to go to the hospital or you need some medication and you end up having a copay, you can actually pay for that and not stress about it. So $5, $10, any amount, it goes a long way, and don't think about it. Just put it where you are not going to touch it. Some people, they put it in a savings account. I personally have a little stash inside of my home. If anything happens, I can grab quickly instead of going to the bank or using the debit card, and put in a little envelope. Like you get some envelopes and you could put $2, $1, $5, $10, and just label it and just put it somewhere where it's out of reach. And so that's your little rainy day funds. I like to say have more than one. So you can have that one at home, and then you have your emergency funds that you put away in your bank or whatever institution that you use to do business, your banking with. So you want to stay focused. I know the holiday season, it's upon us, and it's tradition for us to get gifts for our families, children, friends. And this holiday season, I say to you, try not to go overboard. The 70-inch TV that you have on your Christmas wish list for this year, think of getting it next year or the year after. With crisis, we tend to not do things the normal way that we do things. So in this aspect, one of the things that you can do is to get the kids, if you have kids, even not just kids, if you your family, you could have a little sip and paint, get arts and craft, and you each could make each other cards, gifts, and exchange it. Right there, you're bonding, and it's about community, being around your family. Small gatherings, of course, be mindful of that, and they'll appreciate it. I know some people, they like cards. My son, for one, he loves when I give him birthday cards and Christmas cards. So that's something to think about, and it's very cost effective, just doing activities that don't require spending much money at all. Also, for the kids being home, you could take them on nature walks out. If you're in parts that it's not cold, even if it's cold during the daytime, it may not be that cold, and you could go on little nature walks with the kids. That's something they can get some fresh air instead of staying inside all the time. And that right there, it's cost effective. The park, of course, you're maintaining social distancing and walking around for an hour, so you're getting some fresh air, some exercise, and not spending money. It's something to do. The kids will love it. They'll run around in the park and they'll be happy. It doesn't take a lot to make kids happy. They just want to know that you're there with them, and they can run around. They can play all day, and they are very happy with that. So stay focused. Be mindful of your spending for the holiday season. Think about doing arts and craft, making cards or drawings, have the kids draw or paint, or doing some art or craft thing that you may like. And you could go on YouTube. There's so many options out there. Go to Walmart, get some crayons, paint, paper, and decorations, sparkle, and you're good to go. Sit around the table. If you don't have children, that's something that you can actually do with your adult friends, and they may like that. You can have a little sip and paint or coloring, and just sit and talk and bond, and that's how you can get through it. With your computer, you can turn on your webcam if you are very, very serious about this social distancing like I am, and you can actually do it virtually, where you are making your arts and crafts or doing your sip and paint virtually, or bonding with whether it's your family or friends. That's another way, and as I said, it's very cost effective. You want to also research your options. What are your options out there for you to get by? I know there are many people, they may have lost income and lost hours on their job, reducing their income coming into the home significantly. So you want to research your options. If you have been, if this has happened to you, what are the resources that are out there that's available to me? You want to also maintain your credit. I'll speak with you a little more on that, and just continue researching your options. As I said, one of the options that's out there, if you have lost income or reduced hours, it is SNAP. SNAP, it is the food supplement for food, and you can go through your state, call the 1-800 number, and see if you qualify, you are eligible, and put in an application for that. And I say this to everyone: do not ever be too proud to apply for SNAP. We are in a time where just things are uncertain, and you want to make sure that you have food to eat. You want to make sure that you can feed your families, your kids, and that you yourself are being fed healthy, nutritious meal. Because the one thing that you don't want to do in not having food to eat, you will get sick because you are not nourishing your body properly, and as a result, your immune system will break down. Added to that, the stress of your financial stress of either losing your job or reduced hours, and then that makes your immune system more weak. And you find yourself when your immune system tends to start breaking down and becoming weak and weaker, then you're more susceptible to COVID-19. So you want to keep yourself healthy by eating, drinking lots of water, and keeping your body immune system healthy so that it can fight this virus and protecting you. So if you have lost income or reduced hours, make sure you call your state's number, Google your state's number, the 1-800 number for SNAP, and put in an application for it. They have several other food and nutrition service programs in your local community, such as your local churches, food banks, and co-ops. The Department of Social Services in your county or state, that is a very, very good resource to assist you. Again, you can Google whatever county you live in and get the phone number and call to find out the resources when it comes to food. I know local churches, they have been posting in the area that I live, they have been posting several notices every week. There are different days that you can go to different churches. They have soup kitchens. They have where you can go online to pick up food, whether it's Monday. It just depends on that organization and what days that they are giving those meals out. The food banks as well, and as I said, your co-ops, please utilize these resources. Do not feel, ashamed to do that or too proud to do that. No one is looking, I promise you, no one is looking at you when they're thinking about, well, I just need to feed my family. No one is judging you. Just do what you need to do to get through this. Another resource, it's WIC, Women, Infants, and Children. And that's for pregnant women, babies, and young children up to age 5. And you can call your state's toll-free number to find out about applying for WIC. And you get milk, eggs, beans, I think, and juice. The babies, they get formula. And it's to help bring mothers through their pregnancies and to help nourish and feed the babies and the young children. So that's a very good resource as well. And there's also the National School Lunch and Breakfast Programs. Now, before the lockdown, there are some children that the only source of nutrition that they received was going to school, so where they would get breakfast and lunch. Once the lockdown occurred, in my county that I lived, and I think many other across the nation, they even though school was closed, they had this program where you could bring your children in to still get their breakfast and lunch. So call the county in your where you live, the school district where you live, to find out if this is still something that is ongoing in your area and how you can get your kids to receive their breakfast and lunch. And again, this is not something that you should be ashamed of. When you're trying to survive, you are never ashamed of what you have to do to keep your head above water and stay afloat. Next slide, please. So now we're going to go to discussing maintaining your credit health. So in this time, I know some people, again, we're going back to loss of income and reduced work hours. They may have experienced that, and as a result, fell behind on bills. You want to keep your credit healthy and maintain overall financial health. It's hard to do that when you don't have income. One of the things I say, try not to create debt, excessive debt as well. And so, because then it becomes a cycle and it gets real hard for you to correct that, especially when you don't have income. So at this time, what I have been seeing going on is you can call the credit bureaus to dispute any collections or negative actions that you have on your credit report. And it is being looked at, and the credit bureaus are actually deleting stuff if you take the time out to call and dispute. So you have TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. There are, for each credit union, you can't just do one dispute with TransUnion and think it flows over onto Equifax and Experian. That's not how it works. You have to do a dispute with each credit bureau. So if you call TransUnion and you do a dispute for, say, you may have a late charge or a collection account on your credit that's showing up in TransUnion, you have to also call Equifax and Experian to do that dispute. So you would have, for each dispute that you have or negative action, you have to call each TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. You have to call them separately to do that dispute for that one action. And my suggestion, if you call TransUnion and you have 2 or 3 disputes, things to dispute, you do that in one setting with TransUnion. Then you get on the phone with Equifax and you dispute those 3 actions with Equifax, and then you go on to call an Experian and you dispute those 3 actions with Experian. And you want to maintain your credit health because it's going to be there. It is not going to go away. Even when COVID has been contained, it will still be there. If you fall behind on your bills, you go into collections, the creditors are going to be sending you collection notices. Some, they try to take you to court for judgments, and you don't want that because that is just added stress, and we're already in a state of crisis right now. So you do not want that additional stress. So if you can call your creditors, if you have credit cards, to work out a payment plan with them, that's something to look at and to ensure that you do. I don't suggest not paying the bill. If you can work out making a minimum payment, whatever the minimum payment is, you make that payment each month. And so that at least it's not going to clear the bill off. However, what that will do, it's giving you a buffer to maintain your credit at the level that it is, instead of having it sink lower and lower. And so by paying your minimum payment each month until you either return to work or receive more hours or more income to clear that bill off, you keep afloat with your credit. So if your minimum payment is $15, you make that minimum payment of $15. Don't think, well, $15 is not going to do anything and I don't have the money to I want to pay the bill off overall, or I usually pay more than $15. You make that minimum payment of $15. If it's $5, you make the minimum payment of $5. And that will keep your credit afloat. Whenever you receive more income, you can take care of that bill and clear it off, because bad credit, having collections, it stays on your credit. The collections or negative remarks stay on your credit for up to 10 years, I believe, 7 to 10 years, something like that. So you don't want to something to follow you, and it affects you in terms of getting a home, if you are renting, everything, job-wise, if you are applying for a job. So you want to maintain your credit health and not let it go by the wayside during this time. Okay. So next slide, please. Also, another way to assist with managing your finances, there are just reaching out for assistance. If you have a mortgage, reach out to your lender for mortgage assistance to find out what are the options out there to assist you with paying your mortgage. You don't want to end up in foreclosure because you need a roof over your head. You need to have a home. Two options I see that's going on right now, it's forbearance and deferment. I personally don't suggest the forbearance, because forbearance, what it does, it suspends your mortgage payment. Say if you have your mortgage payment that's due this month and you call and ask for a forbearance, and they give you 60-day or 90-day forbearance. When that 60 and 90-day is up, you have to come up with that 60 or 90-day amount of mortgage that's due, and you have to pay it all during that once the forbearance ends. The deferment, which is what I suggest, what it does, it adds the mortgage payment to the back of your mortgage. So if your mortgage would have ended September of 2021 and you request a 90-day deferment, then your mortgage will end December of 2021. So instead of ending earlier, it would just end 90 days later. And that is what I suggest, to request the deferment as opposed to the forbearance, because then you have to come up with all that money up front at once for the forbearance to pay your mortgage. And also like I said, call your lender to find out what assistance they are providing. A lot of lenders are providing assistance to their customers during this time. So call to find out. That's the same with your credit cards or any bill that you have. Just call to find out how can I get assistance? What are the payment options that are available? Explore your options when it comes to your payment options. There are rental assistance programs out there as well. As I said, your local Department of Family and Children's Services, they have a lot of information. They are a great resource for you during this time. You can call them to find out what are the rental assistance programs that are out there, as well as you can call your landlord, speak with your landlord to talk about making payment arrangements in paying your rent. And there are programs out there such as Salvation Army, the United Way. Call them up and find out what help is out there. Help is out there. Don't just sit and feel overwhelmed and feel like I don't know how I'm going to get by. There are help out there. Also, you have the unemployment program. The unemployment office in your local area, that is a very good resource, a very good tool for you to utilize in terms of you can call them up if you lost your job or if you are looking for a job or to supplement your income. They have a wealth of resource there. You can go into the office, sign up with a counselor, and attend workshops. They have several workshops in the unemployment office, and as well as it can give you leads to apply for jobs and find other job resources, avenues. You have the paid family leave programs, as I mentioned before, food stamp programs. Also, there are electric and gas companies that are working with their customers in terms of payment, because I know you need your gas to cook. If your electricity, some stoves they're electric. You also need the electricity if you are living in a home with someone that is on medication and the medication needs to be refrigerated. You need your electricity. You don't want to be in the dark and you want to have gas. It's getting cold, so you want to make sure that you have those utilities. Call your utility company to see if you can work something out with them in terms of payment. Now, the Department of Children and Family Services, they have you check your local office. They tend to have a program where they assist you with your utilities once per year. Now that COVID is going on, it may be much more than once per year, but you take your utility bill to them, whatever utility bill may be very high or in jeopardy of being terminated. I suggest you take that one and go to work something out where they actually pay that bill. I'm not sure if they will pay the entire bill, but it would be enough to keep your utility on and not turned off. There are also programs in your local area that will assist you in paying your utilities. You want to, when you go to the Department of Family and Children Services, they can give you this information as well. And just reach out to those companies to find out what you need. Some they pay a little bit more than others. Some it's a grant program. It just depends. It depends on the state that you live in, the county that you live in, but the resources out there. So go ahead and reach out because you will never know unless you you make that phone call and ask. Again, there's assistance with your phone and cable companies, and you could try to make some extra cash with a remote job because we're practicing social distancing. You can reach out to be a tutor if that's something that you want to work with. I know a lot of kids are home right now, and parents are home with their kids. Some parents, they're getting frustrated, so this may be a tool to explore remote tutoring. It's like killing two birds with one stone. The parents, they'll have a little time, if they're working from home, or time to themselves, and then the kid, they're being interactive with a tutor, whether it's for reading, math, if you're good at math, if you're good at English reading, that's something that you can explore. Any other remote job that you can explore to earn some extra cash. Okay, so in closing, as I said before, these are unprecedented times, and we have concerns, a lot of fear when it comes to our income. However, when we are in crisis mode, the goal is for us to get on board, get with the program and keep our heads afloat. not to get too overwhelmed to the point where we are sinking or drowning more than we are. So you want to manage your finances sensibly. You want to try to mitigate the impact of anything negative that is going on with your finances, such as if you have a job loss or loss of hours from your job. This is something that is going on. COVID-19, it's affecting not just us here in the United States, but it is globally. So you want to make smart decisions and keep maintaining your financial health, your credit health. Most of all, you want to ensure that you are safe, your families are safe, you are listening to the CDC, practicing your social distancing, washing your hands, wearing your mask when you go outside, because the wear of the mask, it protects you as well as others that are out there. This is, I think COVID-19 is something that it's a test for us during this time to see how we're going to come out, how strong we're going to come out on the other side. And we will come out stronger because it's like a social test. We are now not just responsible for ourselves and our families, but we're responsible for the other citizens that are out there. Because when you wear that mask, it shows that you are thinking of the other person, as well as it shows respect for the other person. And when they wear their mask, they are showing respect for you, and it shows that they are thinking of you. And I know that at the end of all of this, we're going to beat COVID, send COVID back into where COVID came from, and we're gonna come out on the other side better people. We're gonna be able to say that we've contained a virus. The last virus that was out there was the Spanish, pandemic was the Spanish flu in 1918. And the same criteria that's going on now, that was what was going on back in 1918. Millions of people who lost their lives, and it was worldwide. And we have the science and technology for us to get through this. Even though people are losing their lives, we have the technology to try to mitigate it so it's not as many people that lose their lives. So if you do what you need to do to keep yourself safe and your family safe, as well as keep your financial health safe and healthy, then I know that we will come out on the other side and we'll be stronger and we'll be better overall. Thank you. Now, if you have any questions, please put it below in the comment section and I will answer it. Yes, so put your comments and questions in the box below, and I will give it a look at it, and answer it. And thank you for listening. Thank you for your time, and have a good night.
Thank you, Dr. Leaf, for that great presentation. Please join us next week. We will have our next seminar on Wednesday. It will be on Wednesday, November the 18th at 7 p.m. And our featured speaker will be Dr. Ebony Bowers. And her topic will be on access to services. So we are hopeful that you have enjoyed the past 2 weeks of presentations. And yes, if you do have questions, please put them in the box. We will actually, in our last session will be a big Q&A. And so we will look forward to interacting with you and having you ask those questions and trying to answer those questions that you have posed throughout this workshop. So we thank you all. Dr. Lee, thank you again. Thank you for the excellent presentation. And good night, everyone.
Good night.